Hello, this is Dr. Saldivar again. Our topic for this week is writing a research proposal. Your book chapter for this week goes into much more detail than I will in this video. I just wanted to hit the highlights as usual. So first, to help you get in the right frame of mind, let's talk about what is a research proposal. So if you are a consumer of research, if you're a student who reads research articles or textbooks, if you're a physician or a scientist who's trying to keep up with new developments, new findings in your field, the most obvious part of the world of research are the research articles, the books, the presentations that you might see after a research study has concluded, after the research has actually taken place. The researchers will put together a poster, a PowerPoint-based lecture, a book chapter, an article, maybe even a whole book, where they discuss whatever their research study was about and what they found and what their interpretations of those findings are. However, if you're not a researcher yourself, you don't necessarily think about the fact that every research study begins with a proposal. Some research proposals are very complicated and have to follow a very strict formula or process. For example, if you are applying for a grant from a federal agency, which funds a lot of research, like the National Institutes of Health, U.S. government federal agency, they fund a lot of research into medicine, biomedical sciences related areas. The National Science Foundation is also a U.S. government agency. They fund a lot of basic research in sciences, biology, physics, chemistry, psychology, some other areas. Some big private foundations that provide funding for research, like the Gates Foundation, which was founded by Bill Gates, the Ford Foundation, which was founded by the same family that founded the Ford Auto Company. These foundations provide tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars of funding for research every year. So as you can imagine, if you are asking for a lot of money in order to do a large research study, the federal agency, the foundation, is going to want a lot of information so they can determine not just what you plan to do in great detail, but also trying to understand what is the benefit, the purpose of your research. Who cares is basically the question they're asking. Why should we, as the NSF, why should we, as the Gates Foundation, fund the study that you're proposing? What is the benefit that's going to come out of it? So for this reason, research proposals sometimes can be very complicated. Other times they can be a little less complicated, but still very important. When I did my dissertation, when I was planning my dissertation to earn my PhDs, I had to formally propose my dissertation study before I was allowed to do it. And that process alone was multiple months of just doing the actual proposal, which we call a prospectus, never mind the years I had spent in school before then getting up to that point. In our class, you only have a few weeks to put together your proposal, so it's not going to be as complicated as in other settings, but it is very important. The purpose of the readings and our activities in class for this week regarding writing research proposals is to hopefully give you enough of a background that you feel comfortable with the big picture of what is a research proposal, what are the important elements, what do we have to think about when we're writing a research proposal. The chapter will talk in general terms about some big picture ideas, including the idea of intellectual merit, something you want to think about for every research proposal. The idea of broader impacts. The idea of getting feedback for research proposals and how that works in the world of research. Whether you're in academia, you're in a teaching hospital or research hospital. The idea of a research method, what that's about and how that goes into a research proposal. And then the idea of significance and what this has to do with putting together a research proposal that hopefully will be accepted, either to allow you to do the study to earn a graduate degree, for example, or to allow you to compete for funding. Final reminder, the specific elements that you need to include in the research proposal you're preparing for our class are up on the website, and we'll talk about them a little bit face to face. So I won't go into too much detail with them here. I'll just throw them up on as a slide very, very quickly, just to give you a reminder before we conclude this discussion. If you're asking yourself, which you should be at this point, what exactly is going to need to be in my group's research proposal, that information was already given to you actually at the beginning of the class in the syllabus. I've recreated it in this separate handout that is already up on our website that you will. All right, thank you for your attention, and I will see you in class.